Visit OnFireTV.com for live top stories, breaking news, and original shows.
Welcome back. Your man Don McKay in here, of course. The Don McKay Show on fire-tv.com. This whole thing with TikTok has been interesting. It's been a long time coming. They've been trying to get this TikTok thing under heel. They've been trying to get TikTok under heel for a minute now. Now, you may wonder why. Why are they targeting TikTok? We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Fani Willis and what Trump and his whole crew are trying to do now that Fani has, I say that she's come out on the better side of this Georgia case. We're going to talk about that right after this. So you've been hearing about it. The House is trying to ban TikTok. That's right. They're trying to ban TikTok. And if you remember, former President Trump attempted to do something like this during his term. And, it is very funny that lawmakers are targeting TikTok for what all social media companies do. They use data, they collect data. And that's not really the reason why I think that they're targeting TikTok. TikTok is one of those companies that it's a media company. So they're putting information out. But 352 members of Congress voted in favor of legislation that could lead to a nationwide ban of the app. They're trying to bully them into selling the app. Now, since the passage of this bill in the House, TikTok users have been flooding comment sections and criticizing lawmakers for this move. And it's interesting. So in one breath, politicians are saying that TikTok is bad. You've seen them ban it from many government agency devices, et cetera, et cetera. But on the other hand, these same lawmakers are actually using TikTok, in their personal devices. Interesting, right? So you have a lot of lawmakers who are taking this path. These representatives actively use TikTok. They use it to help boost their campaigns, while others are using it for office communications. But they claim that it's a bad app, right? But they're trying to use it. So if you look deeper, this is more about controlling the information that is on TikTok than it is anything else. Why do I say that? If TikTok is owned by a U.S. company, ByteDance is, has the controlling interest here. But if TikTok is owned by a U.S. company, then the government can put pressure on them, more pressure than they try to put now over content. This is about the content that is shown. You hear them talk about the algorithm. That's just controlling the content that you see on your mobile device. So the lawmakers are not as concerned about national security as they may lead on. If they were, they wouldn't be using this app themselves. The president has a TikTok account, but he says that if the bill comes on his desk, he's going to sign it. Everybody jumping with the mob. Now, I don't think that TikTok's going to be banned. Let me say that. I do not think that it's going to be banned. What they're really trying to pressure, what they're really trying to get done is they would really like to see TikTok sold to another company. If that happens, of course, TikTok will continue to operate the way that you know it now. Essentially, the bill that has passed the House last week was about telling TikTok, demanding that TikTok sells to another company. So then, of course, that American lawmakers can put more pressure on said company. So the company ByteDance, which is a Chinese company that owns TikTok, ultimately, one of the owners, they said that they need to sell their shares. I don't know how this is going to fly. I don't know why they think this is going to be a good thing. But that is what lawmakers currently are trying to do. We're going to see where this goes. I don't know. I don't know where it goes. But it is interesting. If you're going to try to lay down the law for these social media companies, if you're going to try to control what they do, if that is the move that you're trying to make, if that's what you're really trying to do, if that's what you're trying to do, I just don't know if this is the right avenue to take, because social media companies, this is the core of their business. This is how they get their bread and butter, by collecting data and then pushing advertisements to the users. That's what social media is essentially about from a business standpoint. So, part of the bill that is trying to force this sale is, I don't know. It's just, it to me, it just feels like the government wants to control what we see on TikTok. I don't like that it threatens a ban if they don't sell the company. I would say more than half of this country is on this app. So people are not going to take this laying down. But a lot of folks voted for this. Now, if they want to set some standards, because there currently are none, if they want to set some standards for social media companies, standards and practices, rules and regulations, laws that apply to all social media companies, then that's something different. But to specifically target TikTok, these lawmakers who have TikTok accounts, they claim, oh my God, TikTok is the villain, is the enemy, is a threat to national security, but they have TikTok accounts that they use. Hypocritical, definitely. Hypocritical. To me, this bill is about regulating what you see on TikTok. Regulating what you see on TikTok. But as I said, if state and federal lawmakers think that this app is so bad, they have banned it from government devices in these efforts to try to create some legislation that would regulate TikTok, why are they using the app themselves? President has a TikTok account. Vice president has a TikTok account. Many of the lawmakers who voted to ban TikTok actively use the app. Right? Interesting, isn't it? Now, I don't support a ban of TikTok. I don't think they should be forced to be forcing ByteDance to sell their shares in the company either. There are ways that the government can set some guardrails up, but many of these lawmakers are frustrated with the information that is shown on TikTok. But you're going to hear them talk, the Chinese Communist Party, this and da 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 da. A whole bunch of folks from the baby boomer generation. Listen, my parents are baby boomers, so I'm not hating on baby boomers. But some of the buzzwords that older folks use, communist, it doesn't have that same effect on people that are younger. Back in the day, they would say communist, and people would just go scared. Now, I don't know, just not so much. It doesn't have the impact. The word communist, Chinese Communist Party doesn't have the impact that it used to have. I think you're going to have to do more to convince people if that's what you're trying to do. If you're trying to convince people that TikTok is the enemy, lawmakers, you can't be on TikTok because people are going to look at you like you're lying. Because that's what many of these folks are doing. Many of these folks are lying. So they're trying to get them to divest interest in the company. They're trying to restructure the way TikTok is run. I don't think this is going to happen. I think that TikTok users are not happy about the prospects of TikTok being banned. And here's the thing. It's on many people's phones right now, already on their phones. So even if they ban TikTok, quote unquote, it's still on people's phones. How are you going to stop it? How are you going to stop all these? Half the country has TikTok accounts. Half the country. Now, the thing that folks need to understand, it has to pass both the House and the Senate before it would be sent to the president's desk to be signed into law. And it has not passed the Senate yet. It has passed through the House with bipartisan support. That means Republicans and Democrats both voted to ban TikTok. Now, what's going to happen in the Senate is far less clear. We don't know. It could go a lot of ways. So I don't know. The president, like I said, whose campaign has its own TikTok account, he says that he'll sign the bill if it comes across his desk. Now, it is true that the Chinese government remains an active and persistent cyber threat to the United States. However, on one hand, they will say that. And then on the other hand, we buy so much stuff from China. We owe them so much money. But we steadily are. But yet on this TikTok thing, that's where they draw the line, right? That's where they draw the line. TikTok's where they draw the line. However, we owe this country billions and billions of dollars. We're consistently buying goods and services from China, but TikTok TikTok is too much. TikTok's too much. Very interesting. Very interesting. But you see all these lawmakers on TikTok because they know the reach that the company has. Candidates, folks are trying to get reelected using TikTok. Now, their nieces and nephews are not feeling them right now. And TikTok says that they hope that the Senate will realize the impact of the app. And obviously, they don't want this process to continue. Very interesting. TikTok's trying to get users of the app to speak out, to call their Congress folks, and they're flooding the comment sections, and they're really trying to speak about how impactful this would be. They want the Senate to consider what they call the facts, listen to their constituents, and realize the impact on the economy. 7 million small businesses and the 170 million Americans who use TikTok. They want them to speak out. This is coming from a spokesperson from TikTok. So what's going to happen? You have creators, you have folks that consume content on TikTok. It's very popular. And so along with the House members who have hopped on the app for campaigning purposes. It's not dangerous if they want to campaign. As I said, several members use the app through their office to discuss the latest news and what they're working on in Congress. But the app's too dangerous. Oh, we got to stop. We got to shut it down. Yes, hypocrites, I tell you. Now, many of those members who use it to share what their office is up to, it's all good for that. All good for that. Now, most folks understand how social media works, right? And there's nothing wrong with these folks using social media to communicate with their constituents. But you can't, on the other hand, talk about how dangerous it is. You can't, on the other hand, talk about how much of a security threat TikTok is while wanting to use it for your own benefit. You got to be transparent, right? And we have to hold these folks accountable. We cannot, we just can't let that kind of stuff slide. Now, this is Democrats and Republicans because this was voted on in the House by both Democrats and Republicans. Now, if TikTok is banned, if the Senate agrees to this bill, which I don't think that they will, but if they did, are you going to continue to use the platform? I'm going to think that most folks still will. But they're trying to force this sale. Now, of course, a lot of these politicians are trying to clean up. Oh, we don't want to ban it. We just want to force a sale. What? You can't force a sale. This is going to give the administration and those involved that are much closer to this leverage that they need. This is about leverage. This is about control. So I'm concerned about this. I'm concerned about the precedent that this could set and what could be next. So we're going to continue to follow this. Obviously, if you think that TikTok should be banned, if you think that TikTok is a threat, if you think that what these lawmakers are doing makes sense to you, I'd definitely like to hear about it. Hit me up on social media at The Diamond K Show. Also, djdiamondk@gmail.com. If you think that this is a good idea, if you think it's a bad idea, I'd like to hear from you also. So social media at The Diamond K Show on email djdiamondk@gmail.com. So last thing before we get out of here, the Team Trump, the Trump team is trying to get a review of the Georgia judge's decision that lets DA District Attorney Fani Willis in Fulton County, Georgia. They're trying to get a review on this ruling. They thought that pulling up this info on her and causing all this confusion was going to get her thrown off the case. That did not happen. The former president and his 7 co-defendants are seeking what they attorneys are saying is an immediate review of Judge Scott McAfee's ruling that allowed Fani Willis to remain on the election interference case. They're like, how could this happen? We gave you all the information, and she's still here. Yeah, she's smart. So ultimately, the judge said that one of them had to go, Nathan Wade or Fani Willis. That was going to be a no-brainer. Of course, Nathan Wade's out of there, right? Of course, the former boyfriend, we're going to call him that, former boyfriend, yeah. That is no surprise there. But the court filing today comes on the heels of the Fulton County Superior Court Judge Scott McAfee, and he's new, right? He ain't been around on the. He's an attorney, right? He's been an attorney for a while, but he's new to wearing the judge's robe, and he's a Republican. So Trump and team thought that this Republican was going to, roll with what they wanted, but he's up for a election. She's up for election. So there's a lot of eyes on them right now. Now, this is a racketeering case that she brought against Trump. And in order for them to move forward, they needed Nathan Wade, the special prosecutor that she appointed to the case, to resign. He resigned on that afternoon, and things are still moving forward. So Team Trump is like flabbergasted. They can't understand what's going on. Attorneys for Trump and the co-defendants had accused both Fani Willis and Nathan Wade of misconduct. They alleged that the district attorney was financially benefiting from a romantic relationship that she had with Wade after the two folks took a vacation together while working on this case. McAfee found no conflict of interest because there was none there, but said that either Willis or her office, Willis and her office, or Wade had to step aside because of the appearance of impropriety. The appearance. Now, in this court filing today, Trump and his co-defendants argued that Wade's resignation was insufficient to cure the appearance of impropriety the court had determined existed. So they're saying, yeah, Judge, that wasn't harsh enough. We should decide the harshness. Do you know how upset Team Trump and the seven co-defendants would be if the judge had issued some type of a verdict and then Fani Willis and her folks are saying, no, it needs to be more harsh? They would say that the judge has spoken, right? The judge has spoken. The Trump attorney, however, said in a statement today that McAfee's ruling was ripe for pre-trial appellate review, right? So they're going to try. This is really about prolonging things. How long can we delay? That's what they're trying to do. But the odor. This is what the judge said. There was an odor of mendacity, and so this is a very negative influence, a dark cloud that lingered over the case, according to the judge. However, he did not think that things rose to the extent that this odor of mendacity did not rise to the level of ending Fani Willis's tenure here, because I think that everybody knew what was going to happen. If you say it's between Nathan Wade and Fani Willis, of course Nathan Wade was going to be out of there. Now, the defendants do not have the ability to directly appeal McAfee's decision at this stage. So they've asked the judge to approve a certificate of immediate review that would put the matter before an appellate court. Now, if the appeals court reviews the matter, that could potentially lead to a pause in the overall proceedings of the election interference case. And that is what Team Trump wants to happen. They really just want to slow things down a little bit more. McAfee has yet to set a trial date. Willis's office had previously asked to start the case in early August. Not sure what that's going to be. Trump and them are trying to get this postponed after November. Co-defendants have pleaded not guilty to the charges. And these charges, I got to remind you, because it's been so many charges. They allege that this gang conspired to illegally overturn the results of the 2020 presidential election. Seems like it's been so long. Been a long time coming. Long time coming. We're going to see how this plays out. I am not sure how this goes. Not sure how this goes. A lot of evidence. And Team Trump is trying to slow this thing down as much as possible, trying to dirty up anybody that they can. Let me say this. Fani Willis and Nathan Wade made a mistake with, I don't know, the interactions, right? Now, consenting adults can do what consenting adults do. And there's not the conflict of interest there because they're on the same side. They were on opposing sides, right? If you had the prosecution and the defense attorney sleeping together, that's a conflict of interest. But you got two people that's on the same side. If you had the prosecution sleeping with the judge, that's a conflict of interest, right? But there's not a conflict of interest. Now, it was not smart decisions for this to go on. And Trump and the team let me say this. If you think that y'all watch Law and Order, right? If you think that attorneys are not sleeping together, you got another thing coming. There are definitely attorneys that are sleeping together. You got a lot of attorneys that do the exact thing that they've done. But the high profile nature of this case, you got the country looking at this case. They're going to try to find any little thing. And you got attorneys. Trump's had some pretty crappy attorneys, but he's also had some pretty good attorneys. And, so any decent attorney is going to try everything that he possibly can to try to do the best that they can do for their client. And if their client happens to be somebody like the Diaper Don, Donald, then, so be it. So I'm not surprised that they tried to take this path. I'm not surprised that they're going to try to slow the case down even further. Not surprised at any of that. Do you think that Fani Willis should have been thrown off this case, or do you think that things went the way they should? I'd like to hear from you. Hit me up on social media at The Diamond K Show. Also, email djdiamondk@gmail.com. djdiamondk@gmail.com. Do you think that Trump is guilty of anything? They threw out 6 of the charges, by the way. It's down in the 70s somewhere. So a little bit more manageable. No. Donald Trump has got to be the slipperiest, slimiest, luckiest person. I don't know. I don't know how he does it. I don't know how he squirms through. But he reminds me of a mouse or a rodent. You know how they can just get through those little cracks and crevices, right? Just around the little corners. That's how Donald Trump is. Not sure how he does it. Who else do you know? What other former president do you know that would be able to maneuver all of this? Not sure. I don't think there is any other one that could have done all this. Don't think there's any other one. I will be back here tomorrow, of course. On all social media, I am at The Diamond K Show. You need to get in touch with me, djdiamondk@gmail.com. And, of course, you can support what we do here on Fire TV. Hit us up on paypal.me/radioonfire. Cash App is at The Diamond K Show. You can become a member on fire-tv.com/join. Hit us up on youtube.com/DJ Diamond K. And as I always say, djdiamondk@gmail.com. I will be back here tomorrow. As always, it is a lot of fun. And I love, hearing from and talking to people, even if they don't agree with me. A lot of folks, surprisingly, don't agree with me. But it's all good. I will be back here tomorrow.